LeBron wanted to play for a title contender, and now we wait and watch with popcorn. So far, the Lakers' most notable signing, and frankly only signing, is forward Jake LaRavia. I had a take on this on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and ESPN2, 6 a to 10 a Eastern, Monday through Friday, that, you need to hear.
I am telling you right now, as we sit here today, it feels like LeBron James is going to get traded. I have never felt this way in my entire basketball fan life or media career, that he was going to get traded. All signs are pointing towards this possibly happening. And I know every NBA insider is going to say, you're ridiculous, this is not going to happen. And I'm sure they're probably right and I'm probably wrong. But if I didn't know the history of LeBron James and you didn't know the history of LeBron James, and we're just looking at what we know since Sunday and what the teams are that we are guesstimating he could want to go to, it feels like he's going to get traded.
Well, I listen to a podcast called The Hoop Collective a lot with Brian Windhorst, Tim Bontemps, and Tim McMahon, like maybe too much. And so I have now followed the theory of actions over words. And while there are no actions from the teams he possibly could get traded to and no actions from the Lakers, I am now trying to connect dots. Wendy, David Dennis, I see you. Do you believe LeBron could get traded?
Go ahead, David.
First of all, let's do the first of all.
Really deferring. Okay.
First of all, you went into the tease by saying there's a take coming up that you just have to hear, and it's your take. You teased your own take by saying there's something that.
I was very uncomfortable with that. I have to admit.
Second of all, don't disrespect the anniversary of the Wendy fingers by doing this. There was an actual trade going on, and you're over here talking about LeBron. Where is it going? There is no trade for LeBron. It does not work. There's no way Wendy. Tim, they're the nicest guys I know. I'm not. It's a lunatic thing to say that LeBron is getting traded, and I don't see a pathway for it. I don't see a pathway for the Lakers that they'll want something that they'll get back for LeBron. I don't see LeBron saying, I'm having no trade calls. I'll go to a team that's going to empty out their cupboard. For me, it's not happening. LeBron is going to be with the Lakers. I am sorry to the take. LeBron's going to be with the Lakers.
I would bet you being right. Just for further explanation before Wendy and Bontemps probably destroy me, let me try to explain what I mean here. So he left it open in a way that I've never seen him leave it open, okay? In addition, you talk about the teams that hypothetically could put together a deal for him that he would approve with the no-trade clause going to. And I think about teams like Golden State, I think about Dallas, I think about New York, maybe back to Miami, less so about Cleveland because of the difficulty of the deal. And those teams have done literally nothing to jeopardize the chance of acquiring him. The Lakers have done nothing to actually improve their chances of him wanting to be there. In addition, it would be really easy for people to say, well, those teams you just mentioned are saving any pieces they have for their big move for Giannis. I don't believe he's going anywhere. I listen to the Hoop Collective. They have told me, as of right now, don't believe yet that Jaylen Brown is going anywhere. So, connect dots. Is there a chance, Wendy, that LeBron James could get traded?
I'll go to Bontemps first. I want to wait.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
You said in your take that we could probably just say you were ridiculous and wrong. What I will say is that in the NBA, after the Luka Doncic trade, I have stopped ruling anything out as an absolute. However, if you look at this situation, as we've been talking about for the past 3 days, there are very few ways to get a LeBron James trade done, and I would say it's close to a 0% chance, or as close to a 0% chance as you can get, for a variety of reasons. One being, he has a no-trade clause, so to get him traded, LeBron has to agree to a trade, the Lakers have to agree to a trade, and the other team that he's going to has to agree to a trade. On top of that, he's owed $52.6 million this year, which he opted into, by the way, on Sunday. If he wanted to go somewhere else, he very easily could have just opted out of his contract. He did not. And three, the Lakers are looking forward to building around Luka Doncic in the future, making some trade that cuts into their cap space next year, does anything to jeopardize their chances of building the best team around Luka Doncic when he can re-sign with the team next summer or after he signs a contract extension 1 month from now. That is the only thing this team can focus on, and any LeBron trade is all but certainly going to hinder their chances of doing that to the best of their ability. So I'm not ruling anything out simply because we have learned in the NBA not to rule anything out. But no, this trade is not happening, and I look forward to whatever Brian is either not going to say at all or say a little bit in response to all of this.
All right, Wendy.
So on Sunday, when Rich Paul made these comments, when it was announced via Shams that LeBron was opting into his contract, obviously those comments could be taken a lot of different ways. They were nebulous, almost by design. When the idea of a trade came up, I slammed the door on it and said, first off, LeBron wants to be a Laker. If he didn't want to be a Laker, he opted out. He has a no-trade clause. Everything that Bontemps just said. Over the last 3 days, I have unlocked the door. I wouldn't say that I'm opening the door. I would just say I've unlocked the door. The door I slammed and locked on Sunday, I'm not 100% sure. And that is because my conversations over the last 3 days have crystallized that the Lakers are essentially viewing LeBron as an expiring contract. And that may sound like a toss-off statement, but that's not insignificant. LeBron has never been an expiring contract, quite literally. Never in his 23-year career, over the 9 contracts he's signed, over all the different teams he's been on, he's never been on the last year of his contract. He's never been 40 years old. He's never not been the franchise player on his team. The Lakers and LeBron, whoever wants to spin their side of the story, I'm not sure what happened, but the Lakers and LeBron did not have substantive discussions about extending his contract, which every team LeBron's been on for 20-something years has wanted to have substantive conversations about extending his contract. And what happens to expiring contracts in the NBA? They're viewed as trade pieces. So, for all those reasons, the money, the fact that LeBron and Luka are still a very formidable duo, the fact that the Lakers are not done with their offseason, the fact that trading him is crazy, the fact that this is being built around Luka and they've got to maintain their cap sheet, and all of those things, everything that makes sense. But I'm just unlocking the door because I'm not as convinced as before of its impossibility.
Here's the fundamental truth about the Lakers. Obviously, we spend a lot of time talking about LeBron James because he's one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player to ever play basketball. He's going to go down in history for all these accomplishments that nobody's probably ever going to match. The amount of time he's played, the productive career he's had to the point where he's now in his 40s and we're still talking about him as an All-NBA player. But the truth is, for the first time in his career, I was at Madison Square Garden on the Saturday night in late January when the Lakers stunned the world and traded for Luka Doncic. Did it right after they beat the Knicks. It was one of their best wins of the season. Saw Rich Paul after the game. LeBron and AD were there after the game. Or AD wasn't there. He was hurt, but LeBron was there. Lakers were feeling great. AD was coming back from an injury soon. Lakers were feeling really good about their team. The moment the Lakers made that trade, the LeBron James era in Los Angeles ended, and the Luka Doncic era began. And everything they've done since then has been geared toward having a team built around Luka Doncic. 3 or 4 days later, they made a trade for Mark Williams to get Luka Doncic the lob threat center that he has had so much success with in his career. Now, they immediately rescinded that trade because they didn't like the physical on Mark Williams and said we didn't want to actually get him anymore. But the action there was clear. We want to get a piece that fits with Luka Doncic going forward. That is the priority for what the Lakers are trying to do. What they have done since then is, again, to look forward to 2026 when Luka Doncic will either be a free agent on July 1st of 26 or he will have extended his contract on August 2nd, a month from now. So everything we're talking about here with LeBron, to Brian's point, the fact he's on an expiring contract, that's the best thing that the Lakers could have because what matters to them is making sure Luka Doncic has his priorities set, not LeBron James.
I think LeBron's coming back this year. Will he end his career in the Lakers? I think it's a more interesting and sort of nebulous question that we have here. I think the only way anything happens is if Luka Doncic himself walks into that front office and says LeBron has to go. And I just don't see that happening. I don't see